Meet the hosts, Oche Ajaifia.
Hello?
Former warmer, but Winifred Iwango and Chioma Mwapa.
Hello? Push it down. Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Good evening.
Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome to another exciting edition of Oche Kitchen. And tonight we are going to talk about polygamy. Polygamy is defined as the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. Professor Jonathan Turley explained that denying the practice of polygamy was contrary to the spirit of Christianity, and that its practice is one of the common threads between Christians, Jews, and Muslims.
That's why I asked you to eat early.
Concluding that since 78% of the world's cultures practice polygamy, if we yield to our impulse and single out one hated minority, the First Amendment becomes little more than hope, and we become little more than hypocrites. Does Professor Turley's tolerance toward polygamy, despite his personal disapproval of it, reflect an enlightened belief toward religious tolerance? We will find out soon. Joining us today are three special guests who were gracious enough, despite their holiday schedules, to be with us. Our first guest is Comrade Chidi Martins, who is a convener Mboko Igbo Integrity Forum, a social-cultural organization. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, we're happy to have you. We're actually honored.
Yeah,
Our second guest is Barrister Hyde Mobi, a legal practitioner in Owerri, Imo State, and a traditionalist. And our third guest is Dr. Uzo Ngoladi, a writer, activist, and publisher of www.dailyblasting.com. He is also the convener of Unemployed People of Nigeria. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree in Education, English from Imo State University, a master's degree and a PhD in Educational Psychology from University of Port Harcourt and University of Lagos, respectively. He also obtained a certificate in entrepreneurial management from Pan Atlantic University, Lagos, a writer of international repute. Ngoladi has published 5 books, which includes Miss Wayward, Attributes of a Loose Woman, The Journey of Telecom Service, Inside Kalakuta and Within Afrobeat, Toxic Eucharist, NSAS, War Against Impunity. His books are widely read in the United States of America and Germany, where he has been a visitor at the Frankfurt Book Fair. Impressive. You're welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. We shall be entertaining questions from our audience at the end of the discussion. So as usual, feel free to use the raise hand button or type your question in the chat section. We would entertain questions from both Zoom and Facebook. And as we go on, we would treat each question. Also know that over time on Oche Kitchen would continue after 1 hour. So even after the show, we will still be able to entertain your questions. And that is because we love you guys. So let's jump right into it. Mr. Chidi, my
Yes.
first question is to you, please. What do you think about polygamy?
Okay. I want to thank you all for inviting me to be part of the panelists. I really appreciate it. Yeah, as long as it has to do with our culture, I'm always available whenever called upon. Polygamy, for me, it has, if you look at it, you ask yourself, how actually did it start? I want to take it from the point of view of the Igbos. How did it come into the Igbo land? How did we start having polygamy? You find out that a lot of things brought about polygamy in Igbo land. I've done a lot of study on that, and I found out that it was just a child of necessity, polygamy. It was brought about by barrenness. Most times men marry in those days and there's no child. Instead of divorce, they go for another wife. It has a lot of advantages. It also has a lot of disadvantages, polygamy, if you may ask. So you now find out that why did men actually, is it the nature of men to desire to have several women at a time, not minding the challenges that are in it? And you look at it and you said, in those days, you know a man by his band of yams.
Yeah.
If they are big, how many people in his family? If the family is big enough to, if there's any challenge, can people actually come and face that family? So basically people wanted population, just like what we have in Nigeria. The North is having their way because of their population, not because they are more educated, not because they are more of political strategies. No, but because of population. So basically it was because men needed more people in their homes. Men were not ready for divorce, and women could allow that. But if you're talking about these contemporary times now, most women, because you know, polygamy is illegal in most cultures. So you find out that now it will not be very easy for polygamy to have its way in our society, because most those days they will marry the first wife and the second, third is just more of concubines.
Yes.
So I think polygamy in itself has its good sides and its own bad sides. The bad sides, you look at loneliness. You're married but yet lonely, because sometimes the man is having his attention more on the favorite wife. You look at the upbringing of the children. Most times, if you go to the prison and do a survey, you find out that most of those guys there are products of polygamy. It has a lot of challenges. So that's why we're looking at it today. Okay. That's the little I can put in now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, is Hyde here now?
No, he's not here.
Not
so
yet.
You can throw the question to anybody you want.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So what do you believe are the most common abuses of polygamy? Ngoladi, would you like to take that for me? Should I ask again?
Uzo,
you're muted. Can you unmute?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Please.
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask you the question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. So what do you believe are the most common abuses of polygamy?
Abuses?
Mm-hmm.
When you say abuses, what do you mean?
Exactly. I like that question. Wapa, answer. Wapa, answer.
Okay, abuses mean like, okay, like I know in the Muslim community, for you to marry 2 or 3 wives, you have to vow to take care of them all in equal. Do you understand? So at times you see in polygamy, at times one wife is favored against, some children are favored against each other. So those are abuses in the eyes of the world. So like when it comes to polygamous homes, what are the abuses that you see occur in them? Like, is everyone, like from your experience or from what you know?
It's not called abuse.
Okay, for me, polygamy is the practice of marrying one or two wives, or, 1, 2, or 3 wives or more. At least I know of a man who has about 15 wives. Okay?
15?
How many?
15 wives, yeah. I wrote a biography for him. So
Wow.
I think
Is he Igbo?
No, he's Ijo.
Oh.
He's Ijo, and one of my great grandfathers married about 60 wives. All right, in those days. So for me, I really don't think there's anything wrong with polygamy. There are advantages to everything in life. There are advantages, there are disadvantages. But the major abuse I will talk about in polygamy is from the side of the man who has decided to be a polygamist. For instance, I was writing a book on June 12th, and I interviewed one of the lawyers of MKO Abiola. He's an Oba, he's a polygamist.
Yeah.
And all of us know that Abiola had up to 100 wives or more.
For real?
So he told me something which I took away. He said, if you want to be a polygamist, you must be able to afford it. Okay? From the olden days, from the biblical days.
That's a Muslim law. That's a Muslim law. Yeah.
You must have the means. You must have the income to take care of more than one wife.
Exactly. Yeah.
You must take good care of them. You must feed them. You must take care of the children. They must go to the best schools. That's one. Number two, he said, you can't bring 2 women under the same roof. You can't bring 2 women, 3, 4, 5 women under the same roof. That's a recipe for disaster.
Scatter.
Right? They're going to give you hell. I mean, you may not even survive it. All right. So he's a very rich man. He told me how he has some homes in Canada, has in Germany, has in America, has in Ibadan, where he's an Oba. So he has all these women, even in his place, his palace. He has quarters for the wives, every wife. All right. So he's taking good care of them, and he told me that, and I absolutely agree with him. So the abuses we see in polygamy is more or less about poverty.
It is, yeah.
It's about poverty. When you look at the northern Nigeria, you will see one man whose income is not up to 50,000, and he's marrying so many wives, give birth to children, turn them to almajiri, and they begin to constitute nuisance to Nigeria. They begin to constitute terrorists, Boko Haram, and all those vices we see in the society. They begin to mess up. But when you see men, polygamy is strictly for the rich. Let me just put it that way. It's for the rich. It's for a man who can afford it. It's for the nobles. It's for kings. If you cannot afford it, stay away from it. Manage your one wife. And you see other men too who don't even want to say they want to marry the women officially. Like today, most rich men we see today in this Abuja, they have just one wife, but 20 concubines, 20 side chicks.
Exactly.
Side chicken is part of polygamy, whether you like it or not, because you are solving problems.
Yes.
You're solving problems.
I like that, solving problems.
You are alleviating poverty in the society. I give you an example with Nedwoko. Nedwoko is a man I see as a philanthropist.
Yes.
He is rich and he is helping families.
It's true.
Regina Daniel's family, we know they're a very poor family. But today, he has upgraded them, built them a house, fly them in private jets, give them all the best things of life.
I need my own network.
That should be the duty of somebody who wants to be a polygamist.
You don't want to get dollar again.
Why are we flogging issues? You don't have money, stay away from polygamy. You have no business. In fact, let me say it here clearly. Marriage, whether monogamy or polygamy, if you don't have money, I tell young men, stay away from marriage. You have no business with marriage. Because I've been married for 10 years. Okay, I was married for 10 years, and I realized that marriage needs 95% finance. When I went to marriage course, I was told that 2 things that break a marriage is finance and sex. But when I got into the marriage, I realized that the major thing that will break a marriage is finance. Women don't care how long you want to sex them. You are a sex machine. You can do well. I see women discuss that. He just knows how to climb up and climb down. Nobody, there are problems to be solved. There's a lot of problems. There's education. There's bills to be paid. there's healthcare, there's good housing, there's there's transportation. You buy clothes, you take care of the children. So why go into marriage first of all? This one is not polygamy. Why go into marriage when you cannot afford such things? If you cannot afford such things, please stay away from marriage. Then if you can afford one wife, take care of the wife, take care of the children, pay school fees, pay all the sundry bills. That's fine with me. Focus on that. But if you know that you can afford it like Negmoko, like Atiku Abubakar, like MKO Abiola, who immediately he gets a woman, as at that time, you have 1 million, you have a house, and he's taking care of you, he places you on allowance. If I have the capacity to place about 3 women on 1 million every month, and they have their apartments, I see them and I take care of the children and they treat their children, why not?
Wow.
But I don't have the means now. I don't have that means.
I love it. But can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Right. I've seen polygamous men who treat one wife. They have money, but they favor one wife, either because this wife has so many girls and no boy, or one boy, or because this girl is prettier than the other. So at times it's not about money alone. So
well,
sorry. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I will tell you that another reason for polygamy amongst men who are well-to-do, who are rich, amongst men who feel they can take care of women. Another problem they have is that problem of respect. A man needs respect. In fact, respect is like the air a man breathes. So if I have 4 women or 5 women in my life, maybe side chicks, whether side chicks are officially married or concubines or mistresses, I will gravitate towards the woman that respects and honors me. She will receive more favor. There's no how I will love all of them equally. The one that doesn't give me problem, the one that satisfies my soul, takes good care of me as I take good care of her.
Music,
if I'm giving other people allowance of 1 million, I can be giving her 5 million. I don't mind, because she's giving me peace. So that answers your question.
Please, I want to see who is talking, please.
Oh, Benson, can you hold on? Benson, can you mute yourself? We take questions at the end of the question.
You know,
my question is already there. Let him answer it.
Yeah, I saw the question. He will answer in a minute. My what I wanted to add to it, IJ, rather than call it abuse, I think we are looking at favoritism. And favoritism happens everywhere, even in families. There are children, most families might want to deny it. People love more one child or 2 other children more than they have loved the others. Not because they hate them, but at the back of what Mr. Angola just said. That child who always comes close to you, who supports you, who gives you that respect, you don't have any other choice than to favor that child, even though you wouldn't want to make it open. So
of course, it's everywhere.
It's not abuse, it's favoritism.
No, it's abuse when it's an abuse when one gets something, when your kids go a private school and my kids go to a public school. It's an abuse. It's an abuse when you don't have sex with me for months and you have sex with your former every year. So abuse, there's so much abuse there's abuse in it. So abuse is the right word. But moving on, the 3rd question is for Uzo. What are the most common benefits? Okay, I think you answered this already.
Wow, the benefits. The benefits are numerous.
Yeah.
The benefits are numerous.
This guy is a low-key polygamy.
Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means to have about 4 or 5 women struggling for your attention, and you're taking care of them? You understand? You know, you don't have to put up with one. You don't have to put up with just one woman. The woman in the night you may touch like I experienced in my own failed marriage. Some nights I will want to touch her, and she will turn me down. She will leave the bedroom. You know, she will do shakara for me. When she knows that.
Any reason? Didn't she have
when she knows that sex is what a man needs, the reason is she's tired, or she don't want to, or she's not in a good mood, or she asks for something you didn't give her. So if I was a polygamist and you come to my room and try that, I will sextile you for 6 months. If you like, go and have sex outside. But for me,
can I put something in here from what
Let me finish.
Yeah, Bucky boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want to answer some things about what you just said.
Okay.
So I'm sorry to say this, but I must tell you that you're looking at marriage from your own perspective, just your own self. Because you said sometimes you want sex and your wife doesn't want it. And did you ever bother why she doesn't want it? That's a question you should ask yourself. Because you just walk in, maybe you have abandoned her for quite a while. I'm just assuming, I'm not saying so. And then you step in without conditioning her mind for sex, and you just expect her like a sex toy because you're a man. You want it. And then she has to just arrange herself like a toy, and you have it. Marriage is more than sex. You have to cultivate the environment for sex. By so doing, I want to encourage a situation where we do not see women as a sex toy, but rather we should see women as human beings, just like you want it and she doesn't want it. You need to find out why at that point she didn't want it. So I want us to change our mindset from the perspective of being a man. I have had some friends come to tell me that this is how they want things to be done in their house. I said, no, it shouldn't be like that. This is how we want things to be done in our home. Because from what you just said, you said, yeah, I come back, I want sex, and she's not ready. She may be weak, she's human. She may be emotionally down, and all those things. So we have to consider.
Sorry to cut you short. I didn't kill her because of that. I'm just trying to let you know that. Yeah. If she says she doesn't want sex, if she says she doesn't want to make love to me, which I believe that sex is a duty that you must satisfy your partner. Your wife cannot say she wants to have sex and you turn her down. You know she will not be happy. I cannot turn my wife down if she wants to have sex. So what I'm saying, she was asking about the benefits of polygamy. I was saying that, for instance, now I'm a polygamist. Okay. I bring you to my room. Maybe you are the first wife, and you say you are tired. In fact, you don't even need to come to my room for me to know that you are not in the mood. I will leave you. I will save you that stress of making love to you. I will look for another woman who is available, maybe a side chick or another wife who is around. You go to room 302. I call up that one who wants to vibe with me, who is in the mood, because our mood must come together. Who is in the mood? And we make love and we sleep. I'm just telling you that that's what benefits men get from polygamy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
I have something to say.
Chris, do you mind holding?
Oh, sure. Go
yeah, thank you.
I wanted to ask him something, but go ahead. Thank you.
All right, thanks. The next question goes to Chide. Can polygamous relationships survive in today's general society?
By Chide, is it Pokibo?
Yeah, Pokibo, yeah. Pokibo, I'm sorry. Pokibo.
Oh, no, I just want to be
yes.
Pokibo, yeah, it cannot survive in our society as present because it's illegal. Polygamy is an illegal act. Most countries do not permit that. So you find out that even in Africa, where we have a lot of polygamies, most of the women were illiterate as of that time. So, like now, they were illiterate at that time. Like now, if you're married to an educated woman, who knows that after marrying her legally, you shouldn't go out to marry another woman, and that would be bigamy. So you find out that it will be difficult to practice in this time legally. Then economically also, you find out that the economy of most countries now, sustaining a wife is difficult. Talk less of sustaining about 3 wives, catering for about 10 children. I give you an example, like in the North. You find out that, I'm sorry to say this, but I have to say it's true. You see that the corruption is more with them because a man has 4 wives and about 30 children. Will it depend on that small salary he's earning? It's not possible. So you find out that economically it's not viable again. You cannot sustain it. It's not sustainable with your salary. And legally, with the awareness of women now, you cannot marry a woman. She will always file for divorce.
Yes.
She will always file for a divorce. And you also find out these days that most women if they don't have a child, they can go out and adopt children.
Yes.
Men are more aware these days. Most of the polygamy you saw in Africa in those days was because of mainly barrenness.
Yes.
Because the woman couldn't get a child, and the family would suggest go and get another wife.
Or a male son.
Yes, or a male son. And most times, women willingly even encourage their husbands in those days. But now you find out that there are many technologies on how to get a child. Advanced technologies, IVF, and all that. If you try that and it didn't work out, you can also go on adoption and a lot of things. So you find out that economically it's not proper, it cannot be sustained. Legally, most women will not permit it. It's either they take a walk from the marriage. And when you look at it, it's not sustainable in our present society. But what they now do is that they will just have, just like my friend just said, side chick.
Yeah.
Okay, AJ, let me add something to me when you finish.
No, I wanted to call you to it because because of the legalities of it. Go ahead,
Yeah. She can come in. I think I'm.
All right, Bokibo.
Yes.
It's illegal for some people. It depends on the way it's being practiced. Okay.
Okay.
Provided you have a consent of the wife or wives, you can take another wife.
Okay.
Okay. Consent could be implied, or it has to be explicit. It could be in writing. We're going to do this, and they will sign they'll sign the invitation with which we're going to get the next wife.
Are you serious? They sign it as
yes.
paper signature.
Paper signature, not under duress.
Okay, that's right.
No, I understand.
Putting their consent here, we're going for this personal marriage, signed Chief Bababa, Mrs. Bababa. So everybody is in agreement. It is not illegal.
Okay.
I am speaking from experience.
Okay.
And looking at today's world, we mentioned Ned Nwoke, who knows the law. If it's illegal, why would he keep doing it? That's him aside, and many others. So it's all about choice. It's just about choice. It's not illegal, and they're not committing bigamy. People who have done it illegally or who have not done it hiding, maybe it's very common as well. You've got one at home and you go outside, marry another one in another city. They don't know until one day comes out. That's where the illegality starts. But where everything is done in agreement, that's no issues about that. That's something you said, but I can't remember now. But it's okay. That's the one thing I wanted to point out.
Okay, I like that. Just like I listened to Nwoke when they were interviewing him, he said he normally tells his wives that he's going to take another one. So that's an agreement.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. With the consent, you're fine.
Yeah, just sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say something. Yeah.
Chizo, can you hold on? Just hold on for to that thought. We'll come to you.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Uzo, the next question is for you. What personal attitudes would need to be changed to be friends with a polygamous family?
Sorry, please come again with that question.
What personal attitudes would need to be changed to be friends with a polygamous family? Do you think people look down on people who are polygamists and stuff like that? Like, if your friend takes like 2-3 wives or whatever, do you think society would look down on you, like in this our present society?
No, this our present society. I want to tell you that people are beginning to appreciate polygamists because of the way they are alleviating poverty. That's why I stated first. My good friend here was saying that some men, because it's not doable again. Who says so? A lot of men in Abuja here has 20 side chicks. Gave them houses, gave them cars, taking good care of them. If they have a kid, the kid bears your name. There's nothing like illegitimate child again. We don't use that term, bastard, illegitimate child. We don't use it again. Let's say, for instance, now, I get married tomorrow and I realize I have the needs. I don't feel fulfilled. I have a need for another woman and I still want to keep the other woman and I have the means to take care of 2, 3, 4 women. You can't tell me that the children that comes from those women are illegitimate. I don't need to sign papers. I don't need to make anything official. The major issue, the core of polygamy is finance. You must have the money. If you don't have the money, then stay away from it. And those women, a lot of women now are even coming out to be proud mistresses and side chicks. And they respect the woman of the house. They respect the law. You understand? You must respect my law.
Ojugo is not finding this funny.
Came there before you. All right. The Lord also will give you your way. So everybody's happy. Like we are giving instances with Netwoko. At least Netwoko is alive now. It was the same thing with MKO. It was the same thing with so many other.
And many more.
Polygamy is not for the poor. It's not for a man who doesn't have the means. All right. Okay. If you don't have the means, you keep to your wife and take all her bad sides and good sides, take it like that and enjoy it while it lasts. Because when you have money, you have more choices. You have more choices. I've also seen wealthy men who love their wife so much. I'll tell you about E-Money. E-Money loves the wife so much that he's always putting her on social media, always pampering her, taking her on overseas trips, giving her. That means that woman is fulfilling all his needs. I don't even know whether he has a side chick. I can't tell. But at least there's one wife there who represents him very well. So I don't see any issues whatsoever with polygamy. There's no issue. The only issue is when you don't have money and when you're not taking care of the women. A lot of women are like educated women these days. Most educated, advanced, enlightened women are side chicks. Abiola married a PhD holder, Dr. Doyin. Dr. Doyin managed Concord newspapers very well. Some of them are nurses, some of them are professionals. It's just about choice. They want to bear a man's name. Like we have, what's that Bible? That in the last days, 6 women will come and hold one man and say, we'll provide our own food, we'll provide our own money, just let us bear your name. People that don't subscribe to that. If you don't have money and you get married to a woman, you will receive loads of insults and humiliation because she's taking care of herself. You're not paying any bill. All right? The society will have to be as monetized.
You're going off now. You're going off. So what has to change? What attitude has to change?
Well, the attitude that has to change is that I don't see, we have accepted it. We have accepted side chicks.
He said we have accepted
mistresses. We have accepted wives. So I don't see any attitude that has to change. Okay. The only attitude that has to change is that for the man that doesn't have money, do not try marriage first. Don't ever try marriage. Make sure you have built yourself, built a career, you have enough cash flow, you have income. Then you start thinking of marriage. Then after marriage, you want to take it a step further. You feel that maybe this woman doesn't give me sex when I need it. You know, this woman is coming with her feminist ideologies. I'm not in the mood. Put me in the mood. Do this, that. Do that. You feel you can't take it. You go for another woman. And
all right, also, before Ifeoma takes over the questions, can I ask you something? Is it okay for a woman to have 2-3 husbands if she's rich?
Yes. Yes. So yes. Yes, that's the next question.
Okay.
If a woman, if you have the means, if you think you can propose to 3-4 men and they agree. After all, we have women who have multiple sexual partners. Are they not married to 4-5 men? A lot of side chicks, a lot of women in Abuja here are keeping 4-5 men who are even giving them money, contributing to their ministry.
Talk on, my brother. Talk on, bro.
So I'm being realistic.
Can you mute yourself, please?
I don't want to go into the moral aspect of it. I don't want to go to cultural expectations and what the society expects. You know, men have been married to multiple wives and they lived well and they made an impact in the society. Still made an impact, took care of people. All right.
Thank you.
Alex, okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Please,
take it away. Daddy, hold on. The audience will get to ask questions at the end of the question.
We'll take a break now, and we'll come back for the next set of questions. Thank you.
Do you want to learn how to speak, understand and write Igbo language? To achieve your goals, sign up today and learn Igbo language in just 12 weeks. All our classes are virtual. We have group and private classes. We tutor adults and kids. Sign up 2 or more people to enjoy discounts. For further inquiries and to sign up, email us at igboclass @gmail.com or call us on +1 281 940 5429. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Igbo class Auntie Chi.
Okay, thank you. All right, my next question goes to Hyde.
No, Hyde is not here, so
AJ,
ask,
right?
yeah.
AJ?
Yeah, no, Hyde didn't come in. So Uzo will take Hyde's questions. Yeah, give it to Uzo.
Okay. Uzo, question for you. Should Christians use the biblical practice of polygamy to justify its practice today? That's on mute, yeah.
I think he left.
No, he's here.
My answer to that question is yes, because like when if you're going through the Pauline letters, that's the letters written by St. Paul to Philippians, Corinthians, and everything. He recommended that if you desire the office of a bishop, you must be the husband of one wife. I think he did that because he recognized that when you have multiple women, that's part of the disadvantages. You have a lot of responsibilities towards them. The same thing that I was saying, apart from the financial aspects, you also have to make yourself available. So somebody who desires to be a bishop, that is a pastor, who desires to stand on the pulpit, St. Paul recommends that you should have one wife, okay? So that it will not cause a lot of distraction. And I'm a Catholic.
Okay.
I'm a Catholic. Growing up, I wondered why Reverend Fathers are not married. Until I got married, I realized why they stay celibate. All right, why they stay celibate. There's a lot of distractions. I won't deny that. Okay, there's a lot of distractions in polygamy. So we see it in the Bible. A lot of people were polygamists. A lot of people were keeping 2, 3, 4, 5 women. A lot of women are also keeping 3, 4, 5. Even the women in polygamy are known to flex. You can't have 5 women and you want them to be loyal to you. What do you mean by you want them to be loyal to you? Let me give you an instance. One of my mentors, the one I wrote his book, he's late now. One of the younger wives, among the 15 wives, was always harassing him about school fees for the 2 kids. So one day, my guy just told him, "These are your 2 kids. Are you sure they are mine? Because I know you. You're always hanging around young men." The woman said, "No, nothing like that." Began to run her mouth. They went for a DNA. Lo and behold, the children failed the DNA tests.
Oh.
My guy said, my guy just confirmed, say, are we clear now? I still accept them as my children, even though I was not the one that gave birth to them. I've been paying their school fees, I've been taking care of them. He continued. We also have the case of Femi Kuti. Femi Kuti had a harem of women. And when he conducted DNA tests, about 3 kids failed. He still accepted them. So that is the society we live in. It's a question of choice. It's a question of choice. And in making your choice, there are consequences to every choice. You can't run away from the consequences. If you marry 2 women, know that you have 2 families to take care of. If you marry 3 or 4, you have them to take care of. All right, so that you don't come and constitute nuisance to the society. For me, I will not encourage anyone to go into polygamy. And I will not encourage anyone to stay in a monogamous marriage and you are not fulfilled, you're not feeling good about it. The woman is not giving you all that is required. So if you have money, the ball is in your court. If you think you need several women, if you think you want side chicks, if you think you want mistresses, it's been happening and it will remain like that. Even in America, I was in America, I spent 4 months in Atlanta. I saw some of my friends who had the means. They have like 2, 3 homes. Madam is staying in the main house. He goes to this other house to be with the woman that treats him, gives him good treatment.
The big house and the small house.
Yes. He has a flat, he has a duplex somewhere, and just like that. And the woman is staying, the other woman is comfortable, staying in the flat, taking good care of you. Whenever you need rest or whenever you need massage, you just go and get a very good massage and pay her bills.
In the Bronx, there are a lot of them.
And sustain her financially. You're taking good care of her. And at the same time, she's doing those things. She's even helping the madam to do her work. The madam at home comes back from work and tired. Every night she's tired. Every night she's tired. So side chicks are really making men live longer. That is the truth. And that's the reality. They are adding a lot of value to the man's system.
I agree.
Yeah,
to an
thank
extent.
you very much.
To an extent. The next question, my question to you is, this again is on a general note, but in putting in perspective to the topic of the day. How much tolerance should the general public have for individual or group religious practice?
Come again, please.
How much tolerance should the public have to individual or group practices or religious practices?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Cultural and religious practices, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at it from the perspective of polygamy, you'll find out that, like in the Southeast here, in the South here, we are majorly Christians or traditionalists. And up north, we have most of them Muslims. So we should not be looking at it. People should respect people's doctrines. The Muslims, they are entitled to 4 wives. And the Christians, just like my friend said, according to Apostle Paul, go for 1 wife. So we should not look at the Muslims who have 4 wives as not doing it right. No, we should be able to allow them to practice their religion and how they feel about it. Even in the southern part of Nigeria, where some people like my friend who said he's in support of polygamy and side chicks, if a man decides to live that kind of a life, he should also be accommodated. He should not be condemned. Because as long as, just like he said, as long as he has the means and is able to manage it properly. But I know that polygamous men, they leave behind for the society a lot of challenges. Just like I told you, I went to the prison because of my NGO. And I found out that I tried to know the parental background of most of the convicts. And I discovered that more than 80% of them, either they're born out of wedlock or from polygamous homes. Most of them are there because of the challenges not having a proper upbringing. But not minding that, we should also accommodate children that come out from there because of their family background, how they were brought up. Most parents don't have time. I remember I went to see a client here in Abuja, and in the course of my work, not my NGO, and he's a northerner, and some children came playing and playing and playing, and then he chased them away. And somehow later, the Megad came in and he said, "Who are those children that were playing?" He didn't know they were his children. He said, "They said it's your son and your daughter." He now told me that he didn't know that they were his children. Wow. You can imagine how bad that is. So you find out that we should be able to accommodate them in our society rather than condemning them. Because most times, some of these things are psychological problems. Because for me, I can't imagine having 2 wives. I can't imagine it. Because I can't even imagine it. But it doesn't mean that I can't tolerate a man who opts for 3 wives. Because if we begin to condemn them, we are beginning to infringe on their rights. Yes. It's their right. So for the society to function very well, we should be able to accommodate them.
Everybody, yeah.
And let them have their way. That is what I understand. So these people that have 4 wives, we should also see them as that's their choice. Just like we that have, they may even be finding it easy to be with 4 wives. And difficult to be with 1 wife. It's just like a man who has 4 wives and has a high sex libido, sex drive.
Yeah.
He will tell you that his 1 wife cannot contend with his satisfying him.
Yeah, it's good you mentioned that because I was hoping to hear that.
Yeah.
That's what Golade has been saying since now.
So it's possible. The man has a very high sex drive, you know, and it will be 1 wife will be going through a lot, having to every night being bothered. So he could decide to have 4 wives, and if he has the means, then that makes it easy. So we should also see it as a way, look at it from the advantages, and also rather than looking at it from the disadvantages.
Thank
so I
you.
think it's just a choice. It's a matter of choice.
Choices, yeah.
You shouldn't say because I want 1.
Anybody that has 4 is
then
bad.
you shouldn't have 4. That's what I feel.
If you please, can I say something? Because I have something to say which is contrary.
Daddy, just give us a minute.
2 more questions.
We have 2 people. We have 2 people ahead of you.
2 more questions then.
Yeah,
right,
and we have 2 people ahead of you to ask questions.
Yeah?
So go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is not hide now. Uzo. And I will put it this way: in societies or in cases where it is illegal to be a polygamist, right? Assuming it's being decriminalized, what rules of moral conduct should we expect or should exist?
Well, like I said, I don't see any legality or illegality to polygamy. I just gave an example here of my friend in Atlanta, in Georgia. You know, not even one friend. I have many of them who are men of means. You know, who are making good money. I see them having a wife at home.
But also, your friends in Atlanta, they're not legally married to all of them. They're not legally married to all of them. The question is assuming.
That's what I'm trying to let you know. There's no legality. There's no legality to it. As far as a woman accepts you as a baby want to be a baby mama for you, or want to be your side chick, I count all of them as polygamy. All right. For instance, now I'm a single man. I don't think I need to go to any court to sign a register or go to any church and bring a woman to an altar. You know, I don't think it's so the morality of it doesn't really come in as my this thing you just said now. You know, you don't have to condemn a man because the man has a 4 or 5.
So let me ask you something, Uzo. Let me ask you something.
There's no.
So let me ask you.
Let me finish. All those countries that are saying that they criminalize, it's illegal to marry 1 or 2 wives. It's just because we are using the word marry or make it legal. A lot of people. There are a lot of living lovers. Oprah Winfrey has been with a living lover for how many years now? And they are not married and they are partners. They are enjoying themselves.
No, so the question, Uzo, I want to explain the question to you. Uzo, let me explain the question to you. The question is asking, assuming it's legalized that you can marry maybe 2 or 3 wives. What's the moral conduct for adultery? Okay. What's the moral conduct for adultery? Like, if you're okay, like you guys said, high sex drive, money, blah, 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 then okay, it's legal. You can marry at least 4 wives. So after marrying those 4 wives, are you like, what's the moral conduct? Will men still want to commit adultery? That's what the question is all about. She forgot to put the word adultery.
All right. When you mention adultery, that means you're coming from the moral part of it.
That's what the question was all about. Yeah.
So that's what. So
he's frozen. Ifeoma, can you throw the next question to
the next question? Mbokibu. The next question is now. What are the effects of polygamy on children, and how can it be addressed, if there is any?
I think he addressed it already.
What did you say? What did you say?
What are the effects of polygamy on children, if there is any, and how can it be addressed?
Yeah. There are a lot of effects on the children coming from polygamous homes. You know, in polygamous homes, there's so much rivalry. Unnecessary competitions.
Exactly.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can, yeah.
Yeah, the children that come out from polygamous homes, there's a lot of competition. They're not properly trained. They're not well educated. Just as I told you, I went to the prison and I conducted a survey and I found out that most of them there. And most times, even in our society, you find out that most times when somebody is behaving somehow, you say probably it's from a polygamous home. it has a kind of negative connotation. Doesn't mean that all from polygamous homes are like that. So you find out that most of the children are not well educated because of the means, just like my friend, my co-panelist was talking about. Some of the men that enter into this kind of marriages do not have this means to take care of up to 40 children, 20 children.
Yeah.
So you find out that most of those children drop out of school and they become a challenge to the society. And you find out that in a polygamous home, it gets to the point that the rivalry, the competition,
Oche.
It gets to a point when they even become diabolic. So if in the society, just as I said, the society can, like NGOs can come up with reorientating these children, giving them a different orientation about from what they understood life to be from their homes. So you find out that those children that are coming out from those homes, when they come to the larger society, they start exhibiting those rivalries, competition. They enter into the politics. They are seeing it as survival of the fittest, because that's what you see in such marriage: the survival of the fittest, jealousy, and all those things. They are all there. Most women from there are psychologically imbalanced. So their children come out to the society and they start exhibiting that. So the only thing I see is that instead of condemning them, just as I said earlier, those children should, there should be NGOs to reorientate them and begin to change their mindsets and their psyche towards seeing society not from survival of the fittest, but
all right.
So, okay, is it okay? Sorry.
Let's take questions. Let's take questions from the audience. Oche. Hello?
Yeah, first of all, Chris indicated interest. He wanted to ask a question. Chris, are you there?
Okay.
Okay, in the absence of Chris Agocha, Chizo, are you ready with your question? Or is both on duty? At some point, Benson had something to say as well. Chizo, are you there? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm sorry about that. I was trying to. So sorry, I didn't get what you said about my question.
No, I'm giving you the floor now to talk.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
You had something to say earlier.
Good evening. Thank you very much for this opportunity to just make some form of contribution to this. I think the question I was going to ask earlier was in regards to that. I mean, polygamy is something that's you know, how acceptable it is and how people. Sorry about that. How acceptable it is and how it's that if it's free and fair, if people have the means to be able to acquire as many wives as they can, then there shouldn't be a problem. I think what I wanted to point out was that it's not just about having the means, because I just typed in earlier that people just get like maligned for one reason or another, especially in a polygamous relationship. And I think towards the end, the guest speakers mentioned something about there's competition, it's fierce competition amongst the wives about who's the favorite for one reason or the other. And unfortunately, those competition or those favoritism get filtered to the children, irrespective of their stance.
Exactly.
You could say, oh, well, this child is doing well in school, so they should be liked. It doesn't really work like that in reality, because to be honest, the mother needs to speak for the child to be attended to. And in a situation like this where, give myself, for example, I'm one of 6 children from my mom and X amount of other children. I think I should be one of 20. Where do I stand? Where is my voice? You see, my mom will have to be the one to speak for me. But in reality, it is far from it. The reality of these things are that if the mother is not there, is not listening, is not speaking to the ears of the father who has the means, so-called means, in quotes, to be able to distribute those things. In reality, it is far from that. It's far from perfect, no matter how we're trying to make it sound good. There's nothing, I mean, it's good to think about it on paper that if the man has the means and they should be able to care for everyone, it shouldn't be a problem. Let's take, for example, Ned Walker. We know that his recent wife, his last wife, is taking up arms, saying, well, he shouldn't get married to another woman because she knows how things were for her when she got in. So there isn't always a rosy picture about polygamy. And unfortunately, the sentiments towards each wife get passed down to the children, irrespective of their role in the relationship or not. That's all. That's the only point I wanted to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chizo.
Thanks, Chizo.
Yeah.
Okay. So, IK, you had something to say earlier. IK Abasi, is he still here?
No, he's not here.
Oh, he's gone? Okay. So let's hear from Daddy. Daddy Paul, you have the floor now.
He needs to unmute himself. Daddy, unmute yourself. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Daddy, welcome. Yeah.
Right. Now, let me just go straight to it. Now, the polygamy is a thing of the olden days. Now, it was part of our culture, and it continued, until, well, the Christianity came, and I don't know what not, you see. But it started dying off gradually. You begin to see Christians, getting rid of that gradually. Now, apart from all that, the point is that they regarded women in those days as
property,
as inferior to men. Now, is a woman must be married. I mean, so that she will be able to live her life, and that the person who will provide for her is a man. So women in those days haven't got much say, you see. So it continued. But the point is that the very truth is that we all came into this world individually. We all are equal in this world. It's just that in those days, because of the tradition that they brought down, they regarded women as I mean, they call them their home is in the kitchen. They look after the house while the man go to farm, go to work. Yeah, so they reduced women to a particular level, and then elevated the man to a high level.
Very true.
Now the truth, as I'm saying, we are all equal. Everybody has a talent. Now, if you're married, if you marry, God created everybody with someone somewhere with whom you will live your life. If you are to marry, it doesn't mean that everybody must marry. No, God has created for each man, for each woman, somebody somewhere with whom they will live with. It's just that the society, the world is not following that, and all those are part of the evil which we are experiencing in the world. The woman has right to have her husband, it should be one man, one woman. You see, but because of the tradition and all whatnot, you know, people still go for polygamy. But you find that in polygamous home, in most cases, I mean, they don't have happiness. There's always one trouble or another because it is not right. Because in most cases, you will find that those women, I mean, there's no love. Look at this guy talking about money. If you have money, so that taking those women as a property, which is not right. Yeah, please, I'm begging future generations to avoid all those things, to start to get away from all those traditions. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, Daddy.
Yes, for them to live a happy life.
Thank you. All right, Mama, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we done with questions, Waps? Yep.
I think so. Oche, do you have anything from Facebook or Zoom questions that you want
to? Just on Zoom, I'll read one comment from Ataibo. She said, positive aspect of children from polygamy are being able to share, learning about family unity, support from siblings. I knew you would attest to that, Mama. I knew you were going to say that. Ability to strive hard. Anyways, I wouldn't know, but
even when you come from a polygamous family with many kids, it's same thing. You learn to share, you share beds, you share plates, you share everything. So it's same thing.
You don't have to be polygamous to learn to share.
Of course,
but sometimes the ability to share isn't there. The ability to share isn't there. There isn't a forum to share. You know, we're thinking about only the positives of polygamy, where it works very effectively. But in most instances, it's shambles because it doesn't work. This would be a classical example of where it works. The prototype is nice because it gives you ability to share, have common life experiences, have extended family situations that you can lean on. That will be the positive. But what about the flip side? It's just the flip side that we're talking about. Sorry about that.
Chizo, hold on to your thought. Let Chris take Chris's question live, then we end and continue over time.
Yeah,
Chris, go ahead. We're looking for you.
Let me ask. This question is for Mr. Paul. You know, how do you address the issue of veiled polygamy? Because why the polygamy is kind of trending recently is because of people having multiple partners, both male and female. So how do you address the issue of veiled polygamy? Because we think, you know, the people going into polygamy is not bad, they are objectiving women and so on, or money. I think money comes into play.
Did you mean Paul or Uzo? I think you meant to call
I'm asking Paul, the last speaker,
who
was talking. Yeah, because why polygamy started trending is because of these days, you know, people are having multiple partners, both male and female. So we are saying, should we go back to polygamy? Or if those who can afford it, can they be allowed to? Because if you have money, not necessarily you are using money to make women your property, but it's about maintenance. Even in families, when you monogamous family, if you don't have money, it's a challenge. Though I don't subscribe to, you know, if you don't have money, don't marry. You guys can build together, and having money is relative. If both of you are working and growing, you can always grow. So you can marry and grow your family if you stay on point to whatever you agree to do. So how do you address the issue of veiled polygamy that is happening in societies today, Mr. Paul?
Veiled in what sense, please?
You've heard the terms about side chick, side whatever. Those are still, you know, you are getting the same value. It's just that the name, there might be a part you might have, it's the same involvement. It's the same having multiple partners. So how do you address that issue?
Well,
Polygamy.
I personally don't approve of multiple partners. If you married your wife, if you married your wife on the basis of love, that both of you loved each other, yeah, the question of you, I mean, having another partner doesn't come into it at all. Except where you get into the marriage without love. You just rush because you like the face of the woman. You jump in. Then after a while, you begin to receive the negative side.
So I will
Chris, can you hold on? Chris, can you hold on to that thought? Let's go into overtime. Mama, take it away.
Okay.
Just give us a minute.
Thank you everyone for being a part of this beautiful show. There's something I expect to hear from Boki Igbo. I'm Oche Furia. I thought you'd have mentioned the Ezinụlọ, how that started. Ndị nọ n'ezi na ndị nọ n'ụlọ ọkwa ya wee okwu ịlụkọta nwaanyị a na-ekwu n'ala Igbo. Ezinụlọ, ikwu ya, akụ na-esi obi ike, akụ bụ ike, that's what Uzo has been hammering on. Ijiri ego, ikpesiwe ife ike. Anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you. Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned because we're going into overtime. All we're going to do, I'm telling you, I'll need you to see what we have planned for next week. Please be a part of it as well. Don't go.
When we make our New Year resolutions, do we actually mean it? Are we just joining the bandwagon? Or do we plan to do it just for fun? Join Oche Kitchen discussions on the 2nd of January 2021. Yes, time 8 p.m. Nigerian time, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. East Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Join us live on Facebook via Zoom. Remember, there's plenty of room in Zoom for all of us. Be a part of this interesting discussion. See you there.
Okay. So the discussion continues.